Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis with episode 6 of Codex Analysis Astra Militarum. Today we are looking at the fast attack section. I'm going to start with the Scout Sentinel. This is 35 points, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, 10 armor all round, initiative 3, 1 attack and 2 hull points. It's an open top walker, so it is flimsy as they come, like armor 10 all round, 2 hull points, open top. Seriously, it is basically impossible not to kill this thing. It has a multi-laser, which is 36 inch range, strength 6, AP nothing, heavy 3, I think. It has move through cover, excuse me, move through cover and scout. Now, this obviously gives it outflank, and this is the main use for Scout Sentinels, outflanking and killing something the moment they arrive. You can include up to 3 in a squadron, so a full-size squad will cost you 105 points, and they may take items from Astra Militarum vehicle equipment. I said in the Troops and Transports video that some of these items might work on Sentinels, but now, in hindsight, I'm not so sure. So, we have the Searchlight. No. Relic Plating for Adamantium will. Pointless. You may not take a Dozer Blade, Heavy Stubber, or Stormbolter. Recovery gear to fix yourself. No. Smoke launchers are debatably okay. Extra armor, pointless. I mean, you're probably going to get glanced to death rather than penned. Fire barrels may not be taken. Hunter-killer missile, this is a solid investment. A hunter-killer missile is a good investment, just coming in and firing an extra rocket launcher. Camo netting for stealth. If you are in cover, this is not a bad investment for 15 points. You may take an enclosed crew compartment, which is not bad. I mean, you gain a tiny bit of resilience, but again, you're probably going to be glanced to death, so dealing with pens is not really going to make a blind bit of difference. And the Augur Array, which is very expensive and basically doubles the cost of your Sentinel. And I am unsure as to whether it's good as an investment, because I found keeping Sentinels cheap is a better idea. Plus, you have to actually keep it on the board for an entire turn without it dying in order to activate the array, and have a unit that comes on a turn later. So, no. I would say Hunter-Killer Missile and Camo Netting maybe, otherwise keep these things unupgraded. The exception to that comes in its weapons. You may replace the multi-laser with a Heavy Flamer for free. Not a bad investment if you've got units entrenched in cover. An autocannon for 5 points, good solid investment. Missile launcher, 5 points, very, very good weapon to have. And a las cannon for 10 points. If you've got a serious anti-tank deficiency, this is a not bad choice again, because you'll be in side armor 99.9% of the time. The only thing you can't choose is which side you're going to come on from when you outflank, meaning that you could end up taking las cannons for the tanks on the left and coming on next to the entrenched infantry on the right. And vice versa. You pick the heavy flamer, you get stuck next to a land raider. Them's the breaks, I'm afraid. So, I definitely choose to equip them with missile launchers because they are the most versatile, but an autocannon is also a good solid bet. Armoured Sentinels. Now, these cost 5 points more than your standard Scout Sentinel. And for that, you gain +2 to your front armour. And you also gain... So, for 40 points, I should start again. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, front armor 12, side and rear 10, initiative 3, 1 attack, 2 hull points. And it's just a walker, so it's not open-topped. That's the big difference. So you gain 2 front armor, and you lose open-topped for 5 points. Sounds like a good investment, doesn't it? And you keep your multi-laser, but you lose both move through cover and scout. So, as a result of this, you basically lose all the versatility of a Scout Sentinel, which was the ability to come in from the flank and kill something immediately and then die. This thing might kill nothing and then still die. But it does get access to an extra weapon, that being the Plasma Cannon for 10 points. If you're facing a Space Marine meta, this is a good investment. I mean, a Blast AP2 weapon, can't really go wrong with that. And it does take your Sentinel to 50 points. Again, 3 in a squad, may take vehicle equipment. Again, I think you may get away with camo netting and hunter-killer missiles, but they're even worse than you were before because you don't have to move through cover, you can't hit the side armor most of the time. Overall, I just think armor sentinels are worse despite being more resilient and only a teeny tiny bit more expensive than your scouts. Rough Riders. Guardsman Cavalry. And I really, really, really wish I could find a reason for these guys to be awesome. I mean, on paper, they're not that bad. They have a guardsman stat line, so a slew of 3s, leadership 7, 1 attack, 5 plus save, and they cost 11 points. They are cavalry, which is never, ever, ever a bad thing, having cavalry, because you move quickly. I don't think you get fleet. I'd have to look it up. I have really only used them once, and they died. They come with a las pistol and a close combat weapon, no las guns, frag grenades and crack grenades as standard, so crack grenades is a nice investment, and a hunting lance. Now, the first time I recorded this, I actually made a mistake. Hunting lances I thought were just +2 strength power weapons. They're slightly better than that. What they are is +2 strength power weapons and then a bit extra. So, as soon as I find it, here we go. Hunting lance is a close combat weapon. However, the first time you charge into melee, so this is the very first charge you make, not on the turn you charge, the first time you charge, you get +2 initiative and +2 strength and AP3. Admittedly, it's one use only, but this means that on the turn you charge, your guardsmen are strength 5, AP3, initiative 5. Seriously, that is designed for murdering Space Marines. I can't think of a better way to murder Space Marines than killing them on 3s at initiative 5. I mean, that sort of thing makes demons look jealous. I mean, two attacks, because you're charging, it is specialist weapon, so you won't get an extra one for your pistol. So 2 attacks, weapon skill 3, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, you should kill a Space Marine per guy. Should. That's insanely good value. But, and it's a very big but, that's the very first time you charge, which means that if you are playing against Tyranids and you have to go through a small squad of Gaunts before you can hit the Tyranid warriors, you've wasted your lances, because you don't get them the second time. You can't save them for when you want them. They're not like an activate at this point time, they're at the first time, period. And they're guardsmen, and we all know what happens to little squads of guardsmen. They die, quickly. 5 plus save, toughness 3, 1 wound, nah. I'd like to see them with the option for carapace armour to get a 4 plus save, and I would like to see them get toughness 4 as a result of their mounts. I would almost want them to be bikes rather than cavalry so they could get toughness 4. I know, it will never happen, but it would make them better. You can take 10 in a squad, which gives them a bit of resilience, and your sergeant may take, instead of his pistol or melee weapon, a plasma pistol for 15 points and a power weapon, again for 15 points. So you will still get your lance on the turn you charge, and then can pull out a power weapon to keep the AP3. Admittedly, it's strength 3, initiative 3, so you're probably dead by that point, but it's okay. And 70 points for AP3 goodness, I can't argue with it. And you may take melter bombs on your sergeant, that's good. And you may replace 2 hunting lances with a special weapon. Now this changes the role of your Rough Riders from charging into something and killing it to harassment. So you could take them with a plasma or a melter for a very good tank killing system. Honestly, I mean, you charge into a tank, you melter bomb it, and your hunting lances are still striking at strength 5, so it may hurt the rear armour, and you've got a melter gun in the squad, you can kill a tank with it. So yeah, on paper, Rough Riders are actually quite good. But on the board, they just die. I hate saying that, but they just die too fast. Because your opponent, if you equip them with anything other than basic, knows, oh my god, these guys are carrying melters, strength 5, initiative 5, they're going to kill me, bang, and blows them off the board. Because it's like killing a 5-man guardsman squad. It's not difficult. You absolutely have to hug cover if you're going to utilise Rough Riders. Hug cover, hide every chance you get, sneak up the board, and then bang. It's the only way to make them work. Because I think they can work. But in terms of hunting tanks, you have veterans and vendettas. In terms of killing marines, you have a lot of Lehman Russ variants. They're just, meh. But I'm not saying don't take them, because they might do good for you. But they're not that good. Right, Hellhounds. Hellhounds are all BS3, front 12, side 12, rear 10, 3 hull points for all 3 variants. The Hellhound costs 125, the Devil Dog 135, and the Bane Wolf 130. They are all tanks and they are all fast. Bear this in mind, they can get around very, very quickly. They're all armed with a heavy bolter, and the Hellhound gets an Inferno Cannon, which is a Torrent Flamer, strength 6, AP4. Ouch. The Devil Dog carries a Melter Cannon, strength 8, AP1, blast, so it's basically 24-inch range. It's a multi-melter with blast. Again, ouch. Banewolf carries a chem cannon, AP3, poison 2+, but not torrent. Again, serious ouch. These things will absolutely destroy whatever they target, but you have to target prioritise. Hellhounds will not hurt Space Marines. Banewolves will not hurt Terminators and are completely wasted on cheap, small units like Gaunts. They're best on Marines. Devil Dogs will kill tanks and elite units like Terminators as fast as you can point the gun at them. But you have to be aware of scatter, and again, on cheap chaff units, it's a complete waste. You can take any combination up to 3, so you can have 3 Hellhounds, or 3 Devil Dogs, or 3 Banewolves, or 2 Hellhounds, 1 Banewolf. The combination you pick is up to you, but I would try and keep them to 1 roll. So I would suggest, as a combo, 2 Hellhounds and 1 Banewolf. Use your Hellhounds as sweepers to clear out anything in the way, such as chaff horde units, and if the Banewolf is in range, then great, and then charge the Banewolf through and burn that key unit. Or, but I don't think it burns, I don't know. But that's my combo. Alternatively, you could run it with 2 Hellhounds and a Devil Dog, because the Devil Dog is another blast weapon for clearing out units, and the Hellhounds at strength 6 can put the hurt on light vehicles if the Devil Dog whiffs for whatever reason. They can take items from vehicle equipment. Hunter-killer missiles never hurt. Camo netting is actually probably very, very useful, and you could also maybe get away with running an auger array, because they are quite fast, but I wouldn't bank on it. You may replace the heavy bolter with a heavy flamer for free. On Banewolves, absolutely. On Hellhounds, debatable. Multi-melter for 10 points instead. Devil Dog, absolutely. Banewolf, no. Hellhound, again, debatable. It really depends what you want out of your tank. So, then we come to the flyers. Now, the 2 flyers in the old Imperial Guard Codex, the Valkyrie was completely made redundant by the Vendetta, which only cost a few points more and was OP. It was completely OP. For 130 points or whatever it used to cost. Well, now the Valkyrie costs 125, is BS3, front armor and side armor 12, rear armor 10, 3 hull points. It's a flyer and a transport with hover. You can take 3 in a squadron, if you wish, and it can carry 12 models each. Meaning you can put veterans in there, you can put scions in there, you can put special weapon teams in there, you can put just about anything in there, as long as you don't blob up. Heck, you can carry 4 Ogrins in there if you really want, or 3 Ogrins and a character, as common sense dictates, as I mentioned in the last video. It's armed with a multi-laser, which is okay. I mean, it will hurt weak flyers like Storm Talons and Orc Bombers, and 2 Hellstrike missiles. Now, a Hellstrike missile, I mean, it's 72-inch range, strength 8 AB3, ordnance 1 use only. So it's 2 ordnance crack missiles with extra range. And for killing flyers, not bad. But bear in mind, only one of them is going to hit, on average. So you can't play around them as your flyer killers. Realistically, you've got 2 shots, at which point you're probably dead anyway if you're playing a flyer war. Extra armor and a searchlight. Extra armor, never a bad thing. I mean, it means that you take stun to shaken. I don't know what effect that has on flyers, but if you're in hover mode, really good, because it means you can keep moving. Searchlight, they're probably too late to come on for night fighting unless it comes on in the last turn, but again, by which point you probably lost your flyer. And grav shoot insertion. And this is the trademark trick of the Imperial Guard flyers. They basically allow you to drop units in wherever you like. If a Valkyrie or Vendetta moves more than 6 inches, passengers may disembark, but they must do so as follows. Nominate any point over which the flyer moved, and deploy the unit as if it was deep striking. If it scatters, every model must take a dangerous terrain test immediately. So if you roll a hit, you don't take dangerous terrain tests. But if you can't deploy a model for whatever reason, your unit is destroyed as if you rolled a 1 on the deep strike mishap table. And this also works when you're zooming, so you can literally fly 30 inches, but leave a unit behind. Or maybe you need to drop a unit halfway along. You can do that. Like, that's really good. Just beware, don't do it with super expensive units, because dangerous terrain tests can be horrible. A Valkyrie may replace its multi-laser with a las cannon, and this is a 10-point upgrade that I think is actually pretty viable if you're running Hellstrike missiles, because, yeah, okay, Hellstrike missiles are not great at killing vehicles, but a las cannon is, and it sort of adds to that role. You can take 3 in a squadron, if you wish, which is okay. I mean, I don't think you really need a squadron of flyers most of the time. And you may replace both Hellstrike missiles with 2 multiple rocket pods, which are short-range glorified frag missiles. 24-inch range, strength 4 AP6, large blast. They're not one use only, so you can just keep using them every turn, but they're very short-ranged, and they're very, very average. I mean, looking at the Wyvern, which I'm going to cover in the next episode, that thing has 4 small blast, twin-linked, shred, ignores cover blast, compared to 2 large blast, not ignores cover, large blasts. I just think the Wyvern is far better for doing anti-infantry AP6 stuff. So I'll keep the Valkyrie armed for killing other flyers, even though, as I'm going to come on to, it gets outclassed in that regard as well, unfortunately. It merits to take a pair of Spontans armed with heavy bolters. 20 points, and if you are going to run the anti-infantry route, this is not a bad upgrade, but generally the best use I can think of for heavy bolters is protecting other weapons from being destroyed, because I believe weapon destroyed results are randomised now. I'm not sure. And then we come to the former most overpowered and broken unit in the Codex. This is, of course, the Vendetta. Anyone who didn't like Vendettas will be pleased to know they got much, much more expensive. They're now 170 points. That's the same as the most expensive Lehman Russ going. But, other than that, they're exactly the same as they were. So, BS3, front armor, side armor 12, rear armor 10 with 3 hull points, flyer, hover, transport, capacity of 6, whereas the Valkyrie has a capacity of 12. So this is more suited to special weapons squads. I think it's actually designed for special weapons squads considering the capacity of 6. Or for Scion squads with a Commissar or something like that. It has extra armor and searchlight and 3 twin-link las cannons. If you don't know how powerful 3 twin-link las cannons is at taking down flyers, then, well, just know that they are lethal to flyers. They will just destroy any flyer it comes across, because it should hit at least twice. Probably every single shot will hit. And it's strength 9 AP2, it will just do some serious damage to flyers. Only the really resilient flyers can hope to survive that. It has graph shoot insertion, as I've already mentioned, and you can take up to squadrons of 3. So a full-size Vendetta team will cost you 510 points. Excuse me one moment. So as I said, you can take 3 Vendettas in a squadron. It'll cost you 510 points. That's sickeningly expensive. So in anything short of probably 3,000, that's completely invalid. 2,000 maybe you could take 2. But generally you'll only really want and need 1. You may replace 2 of your las cannons, so you'll have to have 1 las cannon all the time, but you may replace 2 of them with Hellfury missiles. Hellfury missiles are, where are they? 72-inch range, strength 4 AP5, heavy 1, large blast, ignores cover, 1 use only. So think of it like the Whirlwind Castellan missiles. They are strength 4 AP5, large blast that ignore cover. And you basically get 2 of these, and a slightly longer range than a Whirlwind, I believe, 72 inches. But, are you willing to trade 2 twin-link las cannons for 2 Whirlwind pie plates? In my opinion, I would not make that trade, because I use my Vendettas for killing everything with an armor value, and that's it. I wouldn't use it for anything else, but it's a free upgrade, and if you have got a serious anti-infantry deficiency, or you're expecting to have units with lots of cover, then I suppose it's not a bad... It's not completely invalidated, but it's not my preferred choice. Again, you may take a pair of Spontans armed with heavy bolters. If you run the Hellfury missiles, go for it. Otherwise, no, not really. Personally. For 20 points, it does take up to 190, which is a lot. I mean, 170 is still a lot. In the context of flyers, it's not as bad, but still, it's expensive. Okay, the old question in the Imperial Guard Codex was, is the Valkyrie still completely invalidated by the Vendetta, even though the Vendetta is now much more expensive? Yes, I would say it is. I still think the Vendetta is far superior to the Valkyrie at hunting vehicles, hunting flyers, and while the Valkyrie has a bigger transport capacity, I wouldn't use it for that most of the time, because I don't generally think flyer transports are as good unless there's something like a Night Scythe. As far as the other units go, the Hellhounds are very, very solid. You'll need to get the right combination to get the most out of them, or you can run them individually. It doesn't really matter. Personally, I prefer the Hellhound because it's the most variant, but if you're facing Marines, don't take one because it's AP4. This whole codex has a bit of an AP4 deficiency as far as an AP3 deficiency as far as I'm concerned. Rough Riders, as I stated earlier, I wish they were good. And they're not bad on paper, but they're just invalidated by other units. If you need anti-tank that can get around quickly, you have Vendettas and mech vets. If you need AP3 delivery systems, you can easily just put them in very resilient units like Bulgrins to escort a bunch of commissars. If you want fast units generally, well, they're just too fragile. If they had another wound, another toughness point, or another armor point, they'd be much, much better, but they're not, and that sucks. Armor sentinels are okay. I mean, I prefer scout sentinels because they can outflank, but you could squeeze some value out of armor sentinels, particularly with plasma cannons, especially if you are running no Leman Russ executioners, which I'm going to cover in the next episode. Scout sentinels, I really like them. Very cheap, very efficient, but don't expect them to live for more than one turn. So that concludes the fast attack section. The next episode will be the heavy support section, along with my final thoughts on this codex. So be sure to tune in for that. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Michael for Tactica Imperialis, and I will see you next time.